Welcome back to Facetime and or welcome to Facetime. My name is John Ryan. I'm your host, and I have a guest today. I'm pointing at him, kind of. It's not Morgan Freeman. That's the clue. But because I have that written on his shirt. The clues are written on the person's shirt. And the clue is he's not Morgan Freeman. So think of anyone else in the world. And it's one of those people. So if you don't have it by now, you're dumb. But if you do have it by now, you might understand my world. And my world, I know somebody named Morgan Freed. And Morgan Freed runs something called Emo Night with his friends TJ and Babs. And they toured across the world. And it's basically them unashamedly pressing play at a party, like a big party, like, Webster Hall or Echoplex or, places that can fit thousands of people, right? And they do this all across the country. They've created this brand, this empire, that this entire company. I did a lot of work for them in the past, and we got a fucking horn outside. Thanks. No more honking. Damn, I was fucking killing that intro too. Damn it, I was killing that intro. Fuck it, I'm keeping this. So they were doing that before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and they stopped doing it. But now Morgan is doing something called Emo Night on the radio, or what the fuck is it called? Emo Night on radio.com. Oh, that's what it is. Emo Night on radio.com. Sorry, Morgan. But either way, it's super findable. Literally go to radio.com and search Emo Night, and then it'll come up. Morgan's a friend of mine. We've done a lot of music video work together. I used to do a lot of work for his agency called Ride or Cry, which was under the which Emo Night was under the blanket of Ride or Cry as one of the events that they did. And now he's doing this show on his own. He's just a host. He seems like he's always wanted to do it. He's such a good talker. He's such a good conversationalist. It's just like why? Because I've always been confused. Like, why would you ever be a bad conversationalist? Like, how could you ever do that? That doesn't make any sense. There's so many things to talk about. There's so many analogies to make. The only reason that you're a bad conversationalist in the world, I think, is if you don't like the person you're talking to. Because you're going to be short with them. You're going to be like, I don't know. You're going to have yes or no answers. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, someone's outside and I'm going to throw a fucking rock at their car. New York, huh? Anyway, I'm super excited for this conversation, and I hope you guys are too. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up?
All right, now
you're a little delayed. Okay.
Well, my internet is bad right now.
Oh, fuck. Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. Normally what happens is the Wi-Fi picks up momentum somehow and knows where to prioritize it.
It's been really bad all day for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's me. I don't know. It's who the fuck knows what's going on.
No one knows. There's so much technology and none of it works.
None of it works. I don't know. I have no idea. And we got all those we got the nice Wi-Fi Eero things. I don't know. They're like the good ones where you set up 3 of them in your house so you have Wi-Fi all over the place.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. And they still don't work? That's sick, dude.
I know, it's awesome, dude. Los Angeles is great. It's a really great place to be right now.
Wait, how's it going living somewhere new?
It's the worst. I hate it. What are you drinking?
Well, that's a White Claw, right, my friend?
So you started to drink a little bit again?
Well, I started dating again, and then it became really tough to figure out what to do out here during a pandemic, when you can't get close to each other and be social. So, yeah, but,
Wait, so what did you do? Are you going on, Zoom weird dates, or are you doing, walking and drinking White Claw on the streets?
Well, I've been on a bunch of dates. I've been on a bunch of different dates. And, no, I mean, all the bars are open here now.
Where are you meeting these people?
Online, on Tinder and Hinge, and I mean, you can't really go up to anybody at a bar anymore. That's not really a thing. So
Do you have
even
to?
if
Do you have to? Do you have to wear masks in the bar?
well, you don't go inside the bar. There's all of the streets have like seats in them, so they shut down like lanes of the road, and it's just people sitting there in like a makeshift wood barricade that is outdoor area of the restaurant.
So it's just Nightmare World, but in a different. It looks different. It's just another nightmare.
New York, I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's an ulterior. I mean, ulterior. What's the one that's like
Alternate.
An alternate. It's an alternate. Fuck, I don't know how. It's diet in New York right now, like very diet New York. So it's still dope.
It's like New York 2.
It's New York too, but like they got like half the budget and like a really shitty director.
So it's like B-list New York.
Yeah.
It's like the Dax Shepard to to New York.
They had Matthew McConaughey for New York #1, and for the second one they had Dax Shepard.
Yeah, it's like the Vince Vaughn version of True Detective compared to the Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
True Detective.
anything after Matthew McConaughey basically is what New York is right now.
Yeah, no, it's still bad here. LA is still really, really bad. I don't know if you've talked to a bunch of people from LA on your show, but it's still like it's getting a little bit back to normally, but it's not really. Like, it's still pretty ghost towny and very strange. And then we had the new sun because of the fires.
Yep.
So I liked it was like very apocalyptic. There was nobody out. We weren't allowed to go outside and shit.
You couldn't even go outside.
No, it smelled like Korean barbecue. Like the whole fucking city smelled like that, and it was just really strange. And then we had like some earthquake last weekend.
Just pile it on, everything that you can get. You got you got earthquakes, you got fires, you got bad Wi-Fi. You know, it's like, how's your anxiety?
Terrible. You want to know what I did?
Uh-oh.
So I was taking Xanax for like 2 weeks.
Oh fuck.
Every night to go to sleep, because I could not go to sleep because
Yeah.
I was moving. We have so much work. There's so much shit going on in the world, and I just couldn't fucking sleep. So I took Xanax for 2 weeks, and then I called my doctor and I was like, "Hey, dude, like I can't take Xanax every night to go to sleep, right?"
Oh wait, your
Like,
doctor
it's just,
said this is, hey, take this. It was prescribed.
Oh yeah, I'm prescribed it.
Oh, okay. You didn't just get it like from
But
a guy.
No, I didn't just go buy pressed bars on the street. Like, I just didn't like do that. No, it's prescribed to me it's prescribed to go to sleep. So
Right.
what I told him, I was like, hey dude, like I can't take this every night before I go to bed, because I went on Reddit and I saw about all like the weird withdrawal stuff from it, and it was never my thing. Like, Xanax was never my thing. I don't understand why people like it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes me go to sleep. So I don't understand how people would take it and go out. It just wasn't one of those things that made me feel good. It just made me go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, like, that being said, I was just like, I can't take this every single night to go to sleep. So he was like, all right, I'm going to give you something called Lunesta, and then I'm going to give you 5 Ambiens to like come off of the Xanax.
Wait, is the Xanax technically it's not a free lapse, is it?
No, I mean, like, it's prescribed to me. I took it as prescribed.
Okay.
I don't take it as like a thing to be like, I'm going to get fucked. Like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope this makes me feel good, but it never does. It just makes me go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I get, you know what I mean? It's not like a thing where if I was to have a beer or something that I like, or like if I was to accidentally do heroin.
Oh, I see.
You know, it would be
Accidentally
like
do heroin.
It's easy to accidentally do it. Just falls right on a foil and then you smoke it. But this was like, so he gave me 5 like Ambien, right?
Uh-huh.
And my roommate, I don't know if you've ever taken Ambien before.
No.
Have you?
Xanax, though, I was on for like a year.
Okay, but so Ambien is a whole different story.
I hear good
I
stuff.
and I and I never have. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I think I took it a while ago when I was like a little kid, but I don't remember it. But and I my roommate bought Pokey, and she ate like 3 bites of it, and I was like, why did you stop eating it? And she was like, well, there's ants in it. And I was like, there's no ants in that Pokey. I looked in it and I took it out of the trash and I put it back in the fridge. Right. So I took an Ambien that night. And when I woke, allegedly, well, when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I looked in the kitchen and I was like, we were robbed. And we were not robbed. What happened was Ambien erases your entire memory and you eat everything in your house. So I ate the ant pokey in the middle of the night and I have zero recollection of doing it, which is incredibly dangerous because I read stories about people like driving their cars and doing all types of shit. I like checked my phone to make sure that I didn't text or call anybody. It was very, very strange.
Holy shit.
It's just...
You just
yeah,
take
it's
one?
like
You didn't even like take a bunch or like drink beer with it, like
Just one.
nothing, or mix it with anything?
Just one.
That's
Nothing.
why is that legal?
I have no idea, but it's crazy because I saw people like, I was like on Reddit and I was like, dude, is this like a normal thing that happens? And our Ambien on Reddit is so fucking funny. There's nothing funnier than our Ambien.
It's the
just
subreddit
people,
called our Ambien.
our Ambien. There's nothing funnier. It's just literally like, it's the most incoherent and like cursed page on Reddit. Like, it's so weird. It's just like names of like people naming off the names of the week, and it's like Ken Thursday.
Wait a minute. So what's the
And, like,
concept?
that's
Is
it.
that people go on Reddit when they're on Ambien?
I actually don't know, but it's just like it'll be just like a blurry picture of cheese and then like letters that don't make sense. It's really great.
Oh, I
It's
see.
really, really great.
So whether it's fabricated or not, it still is the simulation of a Reddit post on Ambien.
Yeah, I believe that that's what it is, but either way, it's my favorite. Now, after I figured out what it does to me, then I check it every single day. You should really look it up.
I'm going to look it up.
Great.
I had a friend who did some Ambien, and she said she didn't remember anything. She thought she just, went to sleep. But she checked her phone and she took like 1,000 photos of her lamp.
Yeah, no, that's exactly that's what people do on it.
Yeah.
Like they just take like it's really shitty blurry pictures and things that are like completely incoherent. So, but I guess one of the side effects is that you like sleep eat. Like it makes you like super hungry, but you're also in this like sleepwalking type state where you don't remember it.
Well, do you normally sleepwalk?
No. I normally just don't sleep.
Oh, I see.
So like that's why I took it, because I have such a hard time sleeping, especially during all the garbage world that is going on now.
Do you try to not watch the news? Have you tried to make that a thing?
I don't know if you have noticed, but I've really taken a break from being on socials, except for like work stuff. Like I haven't been posting a lot, and I haven't been like, just because I don't want to. It's not good. There's nothing good on it, and it's just like we're confined to being sort of inside, so there's not much to do besides be on your fucking phone or work. And I found that the first like 5 months of this thing, I was more depressed than I've ever been in my life. And so I stopped. I changed a bunch of shit. I like bought a couple books, which I like never read a book. Like I just never read books. And I like blasted through one in like a weekend. I stopped being on socials. I started to do like some sort of positive, things that are everybody's like, you should meditate. And I'm like, you should go fuck yourself. And there's like all these things. So I just started to do the things that people told me to do. And guess what? Turns out, I feel a little bit better.
I was actually, you did scare me one time that we spoke, like it was a lot of months ago. It was right before you went to Arizona. And I was like, I've never seen you act like that, and it scared me because, you just seemed like you were not in a good spot at all.
No, I wasn't, dude. I haven't been, and I think that is pretty normal for everybody right now. It's just for doing it for so long is really strange. Like I'm good with like a week of feeling shitty. I'm good with like a couple of weeks of feeling shitty. Like everybody's used to that. But this is a half of a year of being completely fucking thrown off. It's very strange, and I didn't realize it because usually I'm around so many people before this, so I could bounce ideas off of things. I could be like, how are you guys feeling, etc., etc. And now it's different when you're just on Zoom. It doesn't work that way. Like, people aren't supposed to be apart from each other for this long. And it's all fucked. It's a very strange thing, and I'm trying to not only talk about it, but it is, it's currently what's happening. It's a weird thing. So I wasn't good, and now I'm feeling a lot better.
That's good. I'm glad you got yourself out of that feeling, or at least a percentage out of that feeling, because I was I was scared. I
was also scared.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole thing, is like you were, it seemed like you were uncertain about your today. So then it became something where I was like, oh, I think I should try to do, I don't know what I can do over here, but I texted a couple of our friends to just be like, I think that, we should keep an eye on or something. But, but yeah, I'm
you should, dude, you should, like, in the last 2 weeks, 2 of my friends have like overdosed and died.
Died?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, nobody is handling this, especially with somebody like with a brain like my brain, where it goes, it would be a really, like, it's like, your responsibilities are like, they're still there, but they're less because you have nobody like checking in on you.
Yeah.
So it's a very strange way that a brain like mine functions.
Yeah.
It's constantly trying to kill me.
So you're saying your brain is similar to the brains of the people who OD'd and died?
Yeah, and they just weren't, like, I fortunately have like a bunch of shit going on, but imagine like losing your job, not being able to pay rent, like doing all this shit, then having that brain, like, just what the fuck, dude? It's just like a nightmare.
Yeah. Mental health is...
And some people
plummeting.
can't see their way out of it, and like there was a decent amount of time where I was like, I can't see my way out of this. And then, coupling that with like moving and it being 8 billion degrees and not being able to see anybody, and, being like alone, it was just a very weird and dark place. But here we are today.
But it's kind of rad. I'm stoked that you got this show. Is this something that you've always wanted to do, like go into radio or some sort of talking thing? Because you had the Ride or Cry podcast, which was great, but it seems like you just are good at talking. You're good at conversation.
I have wanted to do radio since I was a little kid, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was in Tucson, and when I was doing a bunch of heroin, I had no friends, right? Yeah. So I bought one of those like XM external, like those like weird magnetic external XM radios that you would stick on the top of your car because it was like a fucking satellite, and you had to like stick the physical XM thing in the dash or whatever the fuck.
So it was like a bootleg XM. It wasn't a proper $500 XM radio.
It was an XM radio, but at that time it wasn't. They didn't like come built in the car. You had to buy like an external thing.
Yeah.
So, I would just be like, I'd be like 15 and 16 and just like nodding off in my car, and the only people that would hang out with me was nobody. So I learned to have, I listened to radio all day, every day, and all night, because I would just fucking fall asleep and find a spot in Tucson and park and nod off in my car. So I got to be very, very familiar with a lot of radio personalities and what I liked and what I didn't like. And I always enjoyed just the fact that I didn't have to visually see something, and that people could tell stories without having to show anything also. So it was something that I've grown up with a lot. And, so I'm super fucking pumped on this thing.
What were the shows that you liked?
I listened to a lot of like Stern. I listened to Opie and Anthony. I listened to fucking like all the New York radio shows, a lot of the Florida ones. just like the morning shows. And then I liked when I was driving. I would drive at night and I would listen to Coast to Coast. You remember that fucking one?
No, I don't.
With Art Bell, and he always talked about like aliens, and it was before like conspiracy theory podcasts exist. It was before like all of these, everybody who had a podcast had a podcast. It was like that one.
Yeah.
It was on always late in the middle of the night, and a lot of truckers would listen to it because it was like, that's when they did their routes, and they would call in, and people would call in with like weird extraterrestrial experiences and all this like fucking weird paranormal shit. And it was a very I think the dude recorded it from like a shack in the middle of nowhere, which added this like extra like creepy weirdness about it. But
he's probably just in like some nice studio, just saying he was in a little shack.
I think he was literally just, I don't think he lied about it.
Yeah.
His name was Art Bell. You should listen to all those old archives. They're really, really cool.
I'm down. I think, because there's kind of like, that's almost a step between reading and watching a movie, is just the audio. And you're just sitting there and listening to these stories and having them play out in a certain way. It's really cool because you get to use your imagination, and sort of with like movies or even YouTube shows like this, you're not able to fill anything in with your imagination. You're being given the sight and the vision and how to experience this thing, and that's it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was what was really... That's the other hard thing about what's happening right now, is because usually the things that I talk about are due to experience. And the things that everybody talks about are due to experience, doing things, meeting people, going places. And that's just not what we have now. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you want to have a daily podcast or a daily YouTube show, it's hard because what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, a lot of people have the ability. It's just because there's the outlet doesn't mean that everyone has to do it. I mean, I didn't even want to do anything until I had like a solid concept. I didn't really feel confident in doing anything until I had like something, It takes a long time, and a lot of people aren't willing to take those few months to research and just put in the time to be like, why am I making one? Why the fuck does someone want to watch me do a thing or listen to me do a thing?
Well, I think you're doing a really good job, and you're pulling really cool guests. Which also, how are you doing that?
Well, I'm just messaging. So I have this is the truth. I will have someone in mind, and then I'll look at who they follow, and then I'll look at who I have common friends with those people that they follow. And then I'll hit that person up like on their followers list, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? We both have this friend in common. Let's do this. And then that person that I end up doing that podcast, let's just say, and then I end up getting that person they post it on their Instagram. I don't ask them to. They just do. But now the person who I really want sees my show.
Okay.
Now they're familiar already.
Yeah, now you're just finagling this.
Then I wait a week or whatever. I post like a couple clips, like good clips, juicy clips that make the guests look good. And then I go into asking the person who I really want to ask. And sometimes you can get even crazier and go like, 3 or 4 different people down the line and like try to connect them. But I haven't done that. I have, mostly I have 1 or 2 degrees of separation between me and who I want. So and aside from that, I just message people. There's some people that just said yes, and I don't really know them. Like Tony Yasenda just said yes. Gata just said yes. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, no, that was a wild thing. Do you prep for them also? Yeah. Like, do you? Yeah, you do. How do you prep for them? Because now I have to start doing interviews, and usually it's just me bullshitting. But since this is like a nationally syndicated radio show, I have to go into it a little bit more professionally instead of...
Well, here's the thing, is I figure if you have 3 different things that you can ask them about in a very specific manner and sprinkle those out throughout the interview, if you're already a good conversationalist, if you just have those 3 things that you ask that are good, that they're like, oh, I've never been asked that before, like that's a specific question, that you want a reaction from their question. If you have just 3 of those, for how long are you interviewing people for?
literally like 5 minutes. I can't be more than
Okay.
5 minutes, which is the thing.
Okay, then I would say just one thing, but researching someone is as simple as listening to their music, watching their thing, whatever the fuck they are. Invest 5 hours and just go down a rabbit hole and then ask them very specific questions about something that, because they're probably on a press tour anyway for whatever you're going to be interviewing them about. And you don't want to come with the like, what was it like, where did this idea come from, like, if you ask them something.
Well, I mean, I don't care. Like, that's the thing, is like, I don't care about that shit anyway. Like, where'd you get this idea from stuff? Because obviously you got it from your brain. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it came from. So what I care about things that are more personal. I'm more of I'm a personal person.
Yeah.
So, and my first interview was, well, I mean, the show aired last night, which I already got in trouble for, by the way.
Okay, let's get into that. But who did you interview?
I mean, it was Mark Hoppus, and
Right.
like, I know the dude, so it was a really easy conversation, and the feedback that I got from the general audience was it was like one of the greatest interviews, but the feedback that I got from people who do interviews are like, you should direct these questions for general population.
Interesting.
And to me that is, it is a give and take, because granted, like, it's my job to do that, but it's also not my personality to be like, so where was your inspiration for writing this song?
Right.
Was it, I don't know, being in Blink-182?
Yeah,
I can guess.
But you can ask it in a Morgan way. You can be like, how the fuck did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's not. Oh, you can't cuss, huh?
That's what I got in trouble for, is I accidentally. Dude, it was going great. Like, I didn't realize that radio had the reach that it still does. Like,
oh yeah?
I thought, dude, my phone was fucking going crazy. It hadn't gotten that crazy since the last time we did like a large emo night. Like, it drained my phone battery.
Holy shit.
With how many, and I got, dude, it was like 63 DMs from people that I did not know, being like, check out this music, check this out, like, we really enjoyed the show, like, can't wait for next week. Like, really, I had no idea that the reach still existed
cool.
in that. It is cool. I thought it was just going to be like, a couple of people that, were like, hey, this is cool. My mom being like, my son's on the radio, but it's not like that. It's actually, people are still listening.
Well, yeah, because in our heads we're listening to podcasts, or we're watching, YouTube shows that are podcasts like this, or like, we're not necessarily plugged into the radio all the time, because we just don't do that. Like, iPods kind of fucked up things for radios. The second that we got that aux cord, it was just like, why would I listen to a radio station? You know what I mean?
I know.
But that's sick to know that it's still there.
It's still there in a big, big way. I had no clue, because it was always super important to me, but I just didn't realize that it was important to everybody else. And they also liked the fact that, so like, this is the deal that I have with radio.com right now, is I have to play one hit song that's on their rotation per every 2 songs that I want to play, which granted, I wish I could just play whatever I wanted to play, but I understand that you have to play by the rules for a little bit, and then hopefully it will just turn into the Morgan show where I just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
What do you have? Is that a big one? Is that one of those big 19-ounce ones? Or
no, it's a regular one. It's a regular one, but I do drink 2 every show pretty much. That's normally just been the thing.
2 regular ones?
For the last, few episodes, I've just been doing 2, because I was doing water, but I drink water all day, and so I'm like, I want this to feel like I'm chilling. I don't want this to feel like an interview or work. So I'm like, if I'm drinking, it won't feel like that.
That's the way that I wish that I could do everything. I wish I could wake up every day and drink and be like, this isn't work.
Yeah.
That's what I wish that I could do, but I can't do that.
Ron White has a great joke that says, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm a workaholic, and I only drink when I work.
Yeah, I mean I wish that I could do. Is Ron White one of those Jeff Foxworthy guys?
Yeah. He became like one of the most successful ones, I think, though. And
Dude, the middle of the country is a place that is so unknown to me because we're so New York and Los Angeles that TJ drove through the middle of the dude.
oh, that's right, in an RV.
It's fucking Trump. It's Trump country, dude.
I don't want to drive through. I remember I told you I was gonna like drive through the US and like stay at your parents' house and like end up in New York. And I started doing research and I asked around, and a lot of people were like, "There's some places you probably shouldn't stop because I'm like Asian and stuff." And
oh, dude, I remember the first time I went to New Mexico. I went with one of my old coworkers who is an Asian chick. We drove a car to Nashville for one of our other coworkers, and this was when I had like green hair and she had like purple hair, and we stopped at gas stations in New Mexico, and people would literally stop and ask if they could take a picture of us because I don't think they've ever seen an Asian. I don't think they've ever seen an Asian person before.
holy shit.
Yeah, they were like, "What the hell is that?"
Wait. Because your hair or because the Asian person?
I think because they were like they'd never seen an Asian person before.
Oh yeah, actually my old roommate, I don't know if you remember him, Jose.
I remember Jose.
He the girl that he dated was from, I want to say, Arizona, and he was the first Mexican person she'd like ever seen. Like,
wait, she was from Arizona.
it was something like that. I don't know if it was Arizona. It was probably not. Maybe it was Montana. Which one do we want?
Yeah, that sounds more reasonable.
Okay, then Montana.
Arizona is like 95% Mexican.
Oh, then not Mexican. I mean, then not Arizona. Then when she came, then she dated him because she was like, "This is insane that I even am meeting one," and he's a handsome dude, and yeah, that to me was like, oh, okay, I don't know America then. I thought I knew America.
No, you don't.
At all.
I have no idea. It's the weirdest, whitest place ever besides where we have lived.
Well, I guess I should give like kudos to my parents for having me live in one of those because we could have easily ended up not here,
Well, dude, when I moved to Tucson, they were like, everybody was like celebrating Christmas, and I was like, I have something called Hanukkah, and they were like, what the fuck is that?
They don't know what June is?
When I moved there when I was like 14, so that was, God, dude, like 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're like 35?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it was around then. I don't know, dude. I don't know math after 5.
Don't need math. You don't really need it.
Either way, they were just like, they had no idea what like Jewish.
Dude, they don't know what
they
don't know what like vegetarians are.
No, it was a very strange place. I mean, I was just friends with like cowboys and cholos. But the great thing about that
cowboys
was that
and cholos,
they got along very well. Like everybody got along very well
in Tucson. Cowboys and cholos, like
in Tucson. Yeah,
that's fucking
they
sick.
Coexisted.
There needs to be a buddy movie in Tucson about a cowboy and a cholo that just like are homies.
Well, we would just go to the desert and drink like Bud Light and shoot guns, which everybody seemed to really enjoy those things. And I don't think that everybody just left their differences aside. And that was when I like really was like, I was into like metal and all like music and shit. And I was just like the weirder, smaller Jewish kid hanging out with these cowboy and cholo people, which ultimately, I think shaped, I don't take it for granted because, growing up in Los Angeles and New York, I think there's something to do almost every single day, every single night. You're constantly stimulated.
Yeah.
But when you're in a place like Arizona, like Tucson or like, I don't know, fucking Kansas or like Oklahoma or the things like that, and you have an imagination, like you're left with your own creative devices to come up with things that you enjoy. So it like really shapes who you are I mean, it really shaped who I am as a person with not having a lot to do,
So
or not being able.
you hanging out with a lot of cholos, is that why you dress like a cholo?
I don't necessarily. I dress like Bart Simpson. I wear the same thing every day. I just moved into this. I moved into this new spot, and the movers put all of my clothes into this scary cursed horror basement that we have,
Okay.
which is weird to have a basement in California, but we've got one.
Where did you move to?
So I moved 2 streets down from where
Okay.
I used to live.
Okay.
I like the neighborhood. You know, it's like a.
That's a great neighborhood.
Yeah, except you want to know something fucking weird?
What?
So, we've got a back house.
Okay.
It's not attached to our house. It's a completely separate house. It is just a back house.
And Pauly Shore lives in it.
Have you had Pauly on?
No, I haven't had him on. I had to hit up his people. I'm waiting for a response. But you should tell him to do it.
I will. I'm also gonna try and have him do my show too.
Oh yeah, definitely. But anyway, you got to. He just did a movie where he lives in a back house, so that's why I'm asking that.
Yeah, it's called, like, I've listened to a bunch of shows with him on it. He wasn't that great on the radio. He's way better in person.
Well, he needs to be seen. I think his mannerisms are fucking funny.
He filmed that in 2019, and he did it at the right time, because nobody can film anything right now. So they dropped a comedy when nobody was, putting out any sort of comedies. I think it came out at the right time. It got, people seemed to really enjoy it.
You didn't watch it yet?
No, did you?
No, I should probably. I'll watch it soon. I know Bobby too. Bobby's in it, and I want to say like 1 or 2 other people that I recognize that I might have rubbed shoulders with. But I should watch it.
Yeah,
I should watch it.
There's a bunch of comedians. I listened to a couple interviews with them. But so I've got this back house, right?
Okay.
And I have it's a 6-bedroom house that I don't know if you've ever been in a sober living before, but it is incredibly.
The back house is like 6-bedroom house.
It's a 6-bedroom house, and it's laid out in a way that is incredibly similar to a sober living. But the people that live there are not related. This is what I believe. So I've been in there a couple times because the landlady has a room back there, and she stays there sometimes. And
Okay.
I think what she did is it's a Scientology house. I think that she found all of these people from the Church of Scientology that were didn't have anywhere to live, and I think she invited them to live in the house in the back. And it's a very, very strange thing. Like, I've got my blink cameras on, and I'll see people walking up at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30.
Like, you'll see just Tom Cruise just hanging out there smoking cigarettes.
It's really a strange.
What's strange about it? Because what if it's just an Airbnb or
It's not. She owns the house, and she rented these rooms specifically to these people that have no relation to each other, and they're all adults, adults, 60s, 50s, 60s.
Oh, those are senior citizens.
Those are their senior citizens. And she had to kick somebody out because he had some weird diabetes thing, and he made the house smell. It's just it's just very
diabetes has
odd.
a smell?
Allegedly, if you let it get too bad, I think
are you
it's
fucking serious?
I think it goes to your, your legs, and they give you those weird diabetes socks that you get at CVS.
I don't know. I didn't know that there were diabetes legs or diabetes socks or diabetes smell. I thought it was completely
he could have had
inside.
something else. I think he could have had gout or something. I don't know. One of those diseases that stink. Anyway, she had to she had to boot him because he stunk so bad. And then we've got these they're overly, we've got these weird overly nice It's really strange. It's almost like a Pleasantville sort of vibe, but you can tell that but in like a strange culty way. I don't know how to explain it, but it is incredibly weird.
I can tell you I don't like it. I know that.
Oh no, it's not great.
I don't like it.
But I think she's kicking everybody out here in the next couple months. And I was like, dude, you got to rent this to just like one family and just call it a day, because this is really crazy.
I mean, a 6-bedroom house is like, what is that? What can that even be? It's instead of a family. Like, I can just imagine dudes living there.
It's like a sober living, or like what a college place would look like. It would be like where you move in with your like college buddies for like a year.
Oh.
Or like it could be a super janky Airbnb. It's like very like the way that it's laid out is is it Salvador Dali that does like the stairs that go like that cross?
No, that's not Magritte. That's MC Escher.
MC Escher. So the house is laid out like an MC Escher painting, where you're like go up the stairs and then you're downstairs.
Okay.
It's a very odd. And then like you like go up the stairs and it splits into like a door. It's fucking the weirdest, which only adds to like the weirdness, right?
Yeah. You're gonna have to send me photos of it so I can put them while you're talking about it.
I'll try to get in there. I mean, it's not my house. I don't live there.
I have a question.
I just go in there when
about sorry to interrupt you. I have a question about emo night.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about it recently, and I was like, oh, because, dude, there's so many things that, you just sort of get in your pandemic rhythm, and you're like, cool, I'm lonely, and I can't see anybody, and I miss everything, and everything sucks, and then you just start accepting that, but then things come up from the past, and you're like, oh, yeah, what about that thing? So someone that was hanging out with the other day was like, talking about emo night, and I was like, dude, that was so much fun. I got sent a photo. Someone was at emo night at Webster Hall, and I was like, dude, oh my god, like you just forget about the idea of being at a fucking place, like you start fantasizing about being at a place and talking really loud, like what's that meme where that guy's like talking to like some hot girl on a dance floor, and he's like, so the reason that Tom left Blink-182 was like, like over explaining something, and I just, even that is like, I miss that. Like the shitty moments at a loud place.
I can't tell you. So, we were doing it this would be going on the 6th year of doing it, and traveling like 2 times a week to do it, right? And where we would be so exhausted, we'd come back, on a Wednesday, work till be burnt, then go and do it again. And like, stay in like a shitty hotel out till 3 a.m, things like that, where it's just like incredibly exhausting and incredibly like, it's just like taxing on your body. And we were dreading doing these things and traveling and doing all this shit. And when we were there, it was great and it was really fun, but the work that went into it and the traveling and all of the moving around was just fucked up, after a while. And now and we hated it, after a while we were just like, fuck this shit. We just want to be home. And now I would give anything to play a show to like even 20 people in a fucking room in, Nebraska. Like I would do anything to just like smell that like, I mean, weird stale.
Well, yeah, definitely that whole thing, but does it have to be out indoors? Like, can you do it outdoors?
I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, we started getting offers for 2021, but like, who knows when that's going to be? Because like, we got our Coachella offer again.
Oh, that's cool. So good. I'm really glad about that, because that was like such a milestone for not even just like friends that you guys are, but for anybody. Like playing Coachella is fucking huge.
It was a huge thing, and it was really, really exciting to like have that be offered to us, considering like where we started, which was nowhere. And so that's like, I think every musician's sort of deal. Like, we wish we could play Coachella, and then the pandemic happened and we couldn't do it, and we're worried if they were going to offer it to us again. But we did get the offer, so if it does happen, we're on it.
Can you discuss if it was more or less than it was before? Like, is COVID affecting offers like this for the future?
There are places that are normal now. There are places like overseas that are normal, and they're doing concerts, they're doing events, they're doing all this shit.
What places are normal?
And I don't know. I talked to one of my neighbors, and he was like,
said
dude,
that.
I have friends in Spain, and it's just like, yeah, fucking,
What?
they're open. Like, everything is... Yeah, I mean, dude, you're going to bars, so it's like sort of starting to... Like, it's
Dude,
starting
September
to be there,
30th, you can go inside, 25% capacity.
In New York?
Yep.
What about LA?
I don't know about LA. I didn't search it. But I know September
know.
30th out here, you can start going inside of bars, and I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm gonna... Dude, I'm gonna give LA one more honest year in this place. And then I think I'm coming to you.
You're going to go to New York?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, I'm staying here. Dude, because here's the thing all right, so check this out. These last 10 days, I had two of my closest friends that I've known for 15, 20 years, since high school, guys. They stayed with me for 10 days. And we went out, we hung out. I actually recorded an episode with them, and it made me go oh shit, this is what it's like to have friends, be around people who you fucking know and could just sit there in silence with and be barefoot and fart and just be close with, and nothing fucking matters. That is what it's like to hang out with people that you've known that aren't new. So I was like, this is sick. And then one of my friends 2 days in was like, maybe I should move here. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, maybe I'll just get a sublet for a few months and see if I like it. And if I like it, I'll stay. I was like, dude, are you... So after the end of the 10 days, he's like, I'm going to move here. So he bought a plane ticket back.
Yeah, dude.
He's coming back in 1 week.
I mean, here's the fucking thing, dude. I was born there, and it has nothing to do with... I did what I think that I came to do in LA.
Yeah.
I think I did. And now, since we've been working mobily for the last 6 months, I didn't think it was possible for me to leave. And it is absolutely possible for me to move wherever the fuck that I want to. And let's say shows come back, I just fly in.
Yeah.
I just fly in to do those things.
Right.
And then I could
the
take over,
Echoplex one was once a month, right?
Yeah, I could just fly back once a month and do that if it even happens still, you know what I mean? And then I could take over doing the East Coast, Webster Hall, all these other things. I don't know, I get a better feeling from the East Coast being, where when you go somewhere and you go, this feels like a home.
Yeah.
This feels like a place where last time we did Webster Hall, we rented an Airbnb for 2 weeks, and it felt like home. It felt like the way that people act, the way that people interact, the way that it is really, really tight there, but I like that it feels more alive. Dude, did I ever tell you my theory about why I think California is not as neighborly as many of the other eastern states or colder states?
No. I mean, I briefly remember, but can you tell me again?
So I could be completely wrong, right? This could be an absolutely wrong theory, but I think it is, generally speaking, probably has something to do with why in New York you say hi to your neighbors, why everybody talks, why people go... Dude, I haven't... when I was growing up in New York, we would just go to our friend's house for dinner without even asking. Here, it's fuck, I gotta drive an hour to the valley, and it's a whole fucking thing, and I don't know my neighbors, and whatever the fuck. It's very strange. It's disconnected. And there's a very strange sense of community in Los Angeles that I found. And what I think it is weather. Is because before there were houses, and before everybody was living in standalone objects, people had to be closer to each other so they didn't die. And therefore... They formed a stronger sense of community that was just ingrained in them.
Yeah.
And then people came, and then people came out to California and they're like, shit, it's nice out here. I don't have to be next to everybody. And so they spread the fuck out. And through that, I think that we have now lost that sense of community, just that has been passed down due to not needing to be next to everybody to survive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that because the fact that it is super populated and it's very dense is actually makes the temperature of the walking plane like right here gets warmer if a bunch of people are walking. You know what I mean? But if there's no one there, no one's gonna walk there. It's gonna be colder right there. Dude. You know what I mean? And you have buildings to sort of keep it, these weird cubbies of temperature change so that we feel better, better higher temperatures and colder weather. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like that is definitely a thing. And you're going back to the original colonization of New York.
Like before buildings, before structures, before anything. It's like when settlers lived there, they were just like, fuck, this is where we landed? Shit, it's cold. We have to like huddle up and be together. Whereas like when they moved out west, and it was like an open plain and it was warmer, they didn't need to be huddled together. They could be far away and still survive. So I think in a very strange sense, I could be right, but I also could be very wrong.
I mean, I who knows? We're not fucking historians, but I mean, just as like a conversation, it feels like something like that could be right, whether it's for fiscal reasons or it's for primal reasons or whatever. People being close here is a thing, and it's something that people tend to not necessarily enjoy, but deal with very well, better than other places. I mean, you get a little close to someone in LA, you're like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Yeah, it's either that. It's either that or I move to like fucking Montana, or like the middle of nowhere where I can just like have.
What's weird is I think about going back to LA, because where I'm working right now, like my boss was like, you can go back to LA. Like, we're doing fine. Like, you can still work from LA if you want to go back. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. So I already have everything set up here. Chances of me finding a place, well, I don't know, man. I could do pretty well, and I could get a pretty nice place in LA. I don't know, but something in my gut, and I always trust my gut. I always go with my gut. Is telling me to stay here for like at least the next year.
I think you should.
You know what I mean?
And
see what's up.
You should. I literally think you should. I almost regret doing like another year here just because it's been like this and I'm not able to do the things that I normally do. And if I don't know, I want to be in a place where I can walk outside and see people. It's it's lonely here, dude. It's like a lonely feeling thing, and I'm not good with being.
Oh shit! I just realized that because that was like one of my things that I was concerned about here was the fact that there's so many people. Even now, like I go outside, but I'm not really. To be completely honest about the coronavirus going on right now, I am not as scared like by 75% as I used to be. But I will wear a mask, obviously, inside. You don't have to, but most places make you if they're like in like a restaurant. Bodegas, they don't really make you. I see people without masks. But I wear a mask everywhere, except for sometimes if I'm just walking my dog, I don't wear a mask. Or if I'm jogging, I gotta wear a mask. Like,
dude, I have to here because you get looked at. Like, even if I walk the dog, like, in the middle of the night, if somebody's walking, they move, like, very far away from you. And it's just, like, another thing being like, oh, yeah, I am truly alone. Like, in this whole motherfucker.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's a very, very strange feeling. So, in that way, I'm really definitely thinking about.
Dude, it's like, right now I will say, of course I'm biased and all this, but I will say that going outside and just seeing, like, at least 20 people on my block, like just out. There's a park across the street. It's a skate park. It's like crowded all the time. People playing handball.
Nice.
It's like
dude, there's no sense of normalcy here, and I think that is what is really really getting to me. So who knows? Maybe I'll be your fucking neighbor here soon. Dude, I have to hop off because I have another call.
Okay, no problem. Do we have like 1 second just to wrap it up, or do you have to do it right now?
Yeah. No, let's wrap it up.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a photo of what I wrote on your shirt because that's just part of the fucking show, right?
Okay.
And I normally would have you guess, but you're not gonna guess this. But I'm just gonna show you. All right.
Okay.
Just here's your photo. I'm gonna post and everything. So just smile or whatever you want to do. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. God, I can't wait to see how terrible I look. I feel like I've just been fucking eating and doing nothing.
You don't. You look like a very sexy female pop star from the 90s.
Yeah, that is good. I do. I know. That is really good. I like that very, very much.
You get Morgan Freeman a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I look just like him, so I don't understand why people would ever. I don't understand how. Dude, you saw the highlights on my story, right?
No, which is it? What is it? Everyone says, "Oh, that's right. Some guy thinks you're actually Morgan Freeman somehow."
Yeah, and I hired a voice actor to like do something for him, and I sent it to him as like a school project.
And he just used it.
Yeah, he used it. He literally thought I was Morgan Freeman because I have I'm verified and my name is close to that.
Jesus
and I was like,
Christ.
You can obviously see. I was like, just take 1 second and look through my pictures. I am obviously not Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, people don't.
And it's funny. I still talk to this kid like once a week. He goes, "Hey man, hope you're good," and I go, "Hope you're good too."
Hope you're good too. It's
very funny.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go then. You got a thing going on.
All right, dude. I do.
Super proud of your. I want to listen to your show. I have a radio. I actually bought a radio because I was scared during the pandemic at the beginning. So I have a radio.
Well, you can listen to it. You can listen to it on 92.3 in New York.
92.3 in New York. What's another way if someone doesn't have a radio?
Radio.com.
Okay, and its show's called what?
It's just emo nightonradio.com. It's on Sundays at 7 p.m.
All right, man. Super. Sundays in the East Coast too?
Oh yeah, local time, baby.
Oh, okay. All right, Morgan. Thanks for doing the show. I'll talk to you another time. But super stoked for the show.
All right, I miss you. I love you. I'm so happy you're doing this. You're really good at this.
Thank you.
And I miss hanging out with you.
I miss hanging out with you too, man. I'll call you on the side sometime. Pretty soon.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching that episode of Face to Face Time with Morgan Freed. Not Morgan Freeman. Not Morgan Freeman, but Morgan Freed. Please make sure and subscribe to this podcast. Go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Rate and review on whatever you find it on. It's show's called at Face to Face Time. At Face to Face Time on Instagram. I'm your host, John Ryan. Thank you again for tuning in. And there will be another episode next week on Wednesday. What else do you want me to say? Tell me what you want me to say. You know what? If someone actually sent me an exact script for what to do the outro, I'll do your exact script in the outro. But it has, you got to send me a good one, right? So send me one, and make it clever, make it something that I would want to say, and then I'll do it. Have a good day, everybody. Have a good pandemic. Goodbye.